So let's talk about a weird coincidence. This channel is named Sugar, Salt, Fat, and Booze. The four major food groups are sugar, salt, fat, and booze. And this cake we're making today contains sugar, salt, fat, and booze. Now that's a coincidence. So browned butter is delicious with its roasty, toasty, nutty goodness. Rum is delicious because it's rum. And cake is delicious because I'm fat and I say so. Let's get it done. So we're going to start off by making our browned butter for the cake itself. So 2 sticks of unsalted butter in a small saucepan over medium heat. We're going to let it melt, and then slowly it's going to become browned butter. And what browned butter is all the milk solids get nice and golden brown. Basically, we're making clarified butter, but instead of straining off the milk solids, we're going to keep them in there because those equal flavor. Look at that. You'd probably be able to look at it better if the camera would focus, but trust me, it's there. You'll see it. There's another shot where it looks even better. I only have 2 hands. It's hard to focus a camera, hold a pot, and hold a spatula. But see, look at that. That's what we want. We want those golden brown solids. That is flavor. So now we're going to let that cool down for a bit. We'll mix our dry ingredients. We'll start off with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Get that in the bowl. Then 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking soda. Take your whisk and combine thoroughly. We want a nice homogeneous mixture. Now it's time to mix up our wet ingredients. We're going to start off with 1 cup of regular granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Give it a tap if it doesn't want to come out. There we go. Take our whisk. You don't have to do this. I like to do this. I'll break it up. Then we're going to add 4 eggs, whole eggs, and then 1 teaspoon of the best vanilla extract you can find and afford. Don't use the cheap stuff if you can avoid it. Then we're going to add 1 cup of buttermilk. Get it in there. Now we're going to take our whisk and we're going to combine this all till it's homogeneous. So break up the sugar. We're going to get it as dissolved as we can. We're going to beat those eggs. That's what it should look like. And then we're going to take that browned butter that we made. Now you see it. You see all those beautifully browned milk solids? That's what you want. That is the flavor. So we're going to give it a little stir. Then we're going to pour it in and give it a mix. Just keep in mind that oil rises to the top, so you're not going to fully mix this in as we go. Just make sure you get the rest of those milk solids, get a spatula, scrape them out. You don't want to leave that flavor behind. So get it in there, give it a nice quick whisking, and then we're going to combine our wets and our dries. It'll all come together once we put the wet and the dry together. But that's what it should look like. And move our dry stuff over. Always pour the wet into the dry if you can. Get all that out. You don't want to leave any of that behind. Elbow the camera because it's in the way. And then you're going to mix this up. You want to try and knock out as many lumps as you can. You don't want a lumpy batter. This is going to be a fairly thick batter. So work it. I mean, an electric mixer would probably do the better job than doing it. But, you know, a good forearm workout is never a bad thing. So get it as mixed up as you can. Make sure, again, to knock out as many lumps as you can. Then in your favorite bundt pan that's been buttered and lightly floured, we're going to pour the batter in, or scoop the batter in, because like I said, it's pretty thick. But that's okay. I'm thick, and I'm delicious. I apologize for that. I'm not saying it's not true, I apologize for that. So once it's all in there, you want to try and level it out, smooth it out, make sure it's even. You don't want it higher on one side. You have a wonky cake, and then everybody will laugh at you. You don't want that. Don't let people laugh at you. Even out your batter. Move it around as you need to. There you go. Looks good already. Now, into the oven. All right, now it's going into the center of the oven. 350 degrees for about 50 to 55 minutes, or until a toothpick or a skewer, a cake tester, till it comes out clean. You know how to check a cake for being done. When it's done, figure 50 to 55 minutes at 350 degrees. Stay tuned. And now the time's up. It is nice and cooked. Toothpick came out clean. I'm going to set this on a wire rack and let it cool for a minute. All right, cake is done, cake is out. Can we eat it yet? No, we can't. Why? Because we have a rum sauce to make. Let's get that done. So back to our small saucepan, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're going to brown it just as we did the first round. We're going to brown up more butter. So 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I found using a whisk was actually a little bit easier. Now we're going to turn the heat off, and we're going to add 1/2 cup of dark rum. This is the captain, because that's what I like. Let it bubble, let it boil off, let it sit for a minute before you turn the heat back on. You want most of the alcohol to evaporate off. All of it doesn't evaporate off, but most of it evaporates off. Then I'm going to turn it back to medium-low heat, and then I'm going to start to add our sugar. We're going to add 1/4 cup of light brown sugar and 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And then we're going to mix this up over medium heat. Very important, you don't want this to boil. You really don't want it to, you don't have to have all the sugar dissolve. You can have a little bit of crunchy sugar in there. That's absolutely fine. That's actually going to give a nice crust on the bottom. Now, once it's done, you can transfer it into a Pyrex measuring cup or something with a spout that's heat-proof, because we're going to need to pour it, and it's easier to control. Now we'll go back to our cake, and with a thick skewer or a chopstick, something with a little girth to it, we're going to poke a whole bunch of holes around the top, because we're going to pour our sauce into those holes and all over the top of this so it soaks in. So just go every inch or so and give a nice poke. I probably could have done a second or third row. And then gently, paying close attention to the level of the sauce on the edges of the pan. You don't want it to overflow. Focus the attention in those holes we just poked. We're going to pour all of that sauce on top of the cake, which is actually the bottom of the cake, but that's not important right now. Just take your time, go slow, pay attention to the edges, both the outer edge and the inside ring. You don't want it to overflow, because that's deliciousness you don't want to lose. So take your time. Get it all on there. Taking your time is definitely key, but you want to get a nice coating on there. Make sure it doesn't overflow. This sauce is ridiculous. I use a variation of this sauce on bread pudding. It's killer. That would be another video for that sauce. It's a little bit different because it ends up thicker, but anyway, so get all your sauce on top of the cake, just like that. Now what I like to do is I'll take a rubber spatula and kind of slide it in between the cake and the pan, both on the inside ring and the outer perimeter, just to let some of that sauce, go down the sides. As we will, look at that. You want as much of this to absorb into the cake as possible, so give it as much surface area. Just be very gentle when you do this. You don't want to kind of slice through the side of the cake. So do the outside edge, do the inside edge. Look at that. Look how pretty. Look how delicious that looks. All right. Now we're going to give it a nice flip. So we'll move the cake off of the cooling rack. I already had this set up with a piece of parchment, cooling rack, parchment, and then a sheet pan underneath. Give it a flip. And then we're going to remove it from its casing. Give it a little jiggle if you need to. Look at that. That's a good looking cake, if I may say so myself. And I do. It's gorgeous and delicious. All right, so the cake is out. It's cooled down for a little bit. We poured our rum sauce on it. Can we eat it yet? No, we can't. Patience is like something I don't really have much of, but I know what the end result is going to be, and it's so worth the wait. So trust me, let's wait another hour or so until it's fully cooled down and everything's soaked in. Shall we? It's important to wait for that. And then we give it a cut. That is beautiful cake. And now, the moment we've been waiting too damn long for. Now it's time to put it in our face. But look at this. Can you see that? You see this right here? That little dark spot? We poked it and we poured the rum. That's where the rum went. And it went around it and soaked in. But that is like the best part of this. So that's kind of where I'm going to start. Wow. That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. This is the top, which used to be the bottom, or it's the bottom, which used to be the top. That glaze put like a sugary crust. It's almost crunchy. It's ridiculous. That's the only way I can describe this. It's ridiculous. This cake was incredibly delicious. Again, as with everything that's good, patience, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day and this cake wasn't made in 10 minutes. So it's worth the wait, trust me. You guys should make this for your families, make it for your next barbecue. You know what? The weekend's coming up and you deserve a rum cake for the weekend. So make it this weekend. Why not? Everybody will love you for it. If you want to see me make something, if you have a suggestion, drop it down in the comments. You want to tell me I suck? I love that. Drop it down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and smash that like button. I really appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves and we'll catch you on the next one.